Did you know that George R.R. Martin's Game of Thrones saga has been captivating audiences for what feels like an eternity? Yup, that's right. This epic tale has been keeping us hooked, line, and sinker for what seems like eons. And today we're about to plunge headfirst into the heart of this whirlwind, so buckle up and get ready for the ride of a lifetime. 13 years. Can you believe it? That's how long it's been since we last got our hands on a fresh installment of George R.R. Martin's epic saga, A Song of Ice and Fire. Think about it. It's like waiting for a dragon's egg to crack open and reveal its fiery secrets. And in all that time, what have we been left with? A whole lot of waiting. That's what. You see, there's this book that's been whispered about in hushed tones. A book that's become the stuff of legends among fans. The Winds of Winter. It's supposed to be the next chapter in this sprawling tale, the one we've all been eagerly anticipating. But here's the kicker. Despite all the rumors and speculation, it's still nowhere to be found. It's like trying to catch a shadow or chase down a wisp of smoke. We keep hoping it'll materialize, but so far, it's remained frustratingly out of reach. But hold on to your direwolves, because here's when things get even more intriguing. You see, The Winds of Winter isn't even the end of the line. Nope, there's another book waiting in the wings. A book with a title that's as tantalizing as it is ominous. A Dream of Spring. Now you'd think with a title like that, we'd be in for a happily ever after kind of ending, right? Wrong, because here's the real twist. George R.R. Martin hasn't even started working on it yet. That's right, the man behind the madness, the architect of this fantastical world, hasn't even begun to pen the final chapter. And with Martin creeping ever closer to his mid-70s, the question on everyone's lips is, will he ever finish what he started? It's a question that's been haunting fans like a ghost in the night, a question that's become more urgent with each passing year. Will we ever get the closure we crave, or are we doomed to wander the halls of uncertainty forever? Now, let's take a closer look at the man himself, George R.R. Martin. You'd think that after all these years, he'd have cracked the code, figured out the secret formula for churning out bestsellers like clockwork. But man, it seems that even the mighty Martin isn't immune to the dreaded writer's block. In fact, he's been hitting more walls than a clumsy Night's Watch recruit on patrol. Sure, he's been giving us updates here and there, teasing us with promises of progress, but the truth is, it's been going slow. Slower than a snail making its way through a field of molasses. Just when we think he's making headway, he hits another roadblock, another obstacle that sends him reeling. Take for example the latest setback. Latest we heard, Martin had hit a wall so hard it sent shockwaves through the 7 kingdoms. And what's worse, he's been stuck there for months, staring at the same blank page with a look of frustration etched into his weathered face. It's enough to make you wonder if he'll ever find his way out of this literary labyrinth, if he'll ever deliver the ending we've all been waiting for. But here's the thing, it's not just about hitting walls or battling writer's block, it's about something much bigger, much more daunting. You see, Martin isn't just trying to finish a story, he's trying to tie together a tapestry of characters, plot lines, and mysteries that span generations. He's trying to make sense of a world that's as vast and complex as our own, a world that's filled with more twists and turns than a maze. And let's not forget the weight of expectations that's been bearing down on him like a mountain of steel. With Game of Thrones becoming a cultural phenomenon, the pressure to deliver a finale that's worthy of the hype has never been higher. It's enough to make even the most seasoned author break out in a cold sweat, to second guess every word they put down on the page. So next time you find yourself wondering why Martin's taking so long to finish the next installment, just remember, it's not just about writing a book. It's about bringing a world to life, one word at a time. Alright, let's dive into the heart of the matter. George R.R. Martin's creation. We're talking about a world so vast, so intricate, it makes your head spin faster than a wildling caught in a blizzard. Martin has woven a tapestry of characters, plots, and history so dense, it's like navigating through the maze of the many-faced god. And with each new book, the web grows even more tangled, the threads intertwining in ways we never thought possible. But here's the kicker. With every twist and turn, Martin adds another layer to the puzzle, another piece to the ever-expanding jigsaw. It's like trying to piece together a map of Westeros with only half the pieces. Daunting, to say the least. And when it comes to crafting an ending that ties it all together, well, that's a whole other beast entirely. It's like trying to wrangle a shadow, elusive, slippery, and maddeningly out of reach. Martin's got his work cut out for him, that's for sure. Now let's talk about pressure, and boy does George R.R. Martin know a thing or two about pressure. You see, when Game of Thrones exploded onto our screens like wildfire, it took the world by storm. Suddenly, Martin's creation wasn't just a series of books, it was a cultural phenomenon, a global obsession. And with that kind of success comes a whole lot of expectations. Expectations that weigh on Martin's shoulders like a mountain of Valyrian steel. Fans aren't just hoping for a satisfying conclusion, they're expecting nothing less than perfection. They want twists that'll make their head spin, betrayals that'll make their jaw drop, and endings that'll leave them speechless. But here's the thing. Meeting those expectations is like trying to climb the wall with nothing but a grappling hook and a prayer. It's a Herculean task, one that's bound to leave even the most seasoned author feeling the heat. But hold on to your direwolves, because there's more to this story than meets the eye. You see, when Martin hit a snag in his writing, it had ripple effects that reached far beyond the pages of his books. We're talking about the TV adaptation, the show that took the world by storm and left fans clamoring for more. But when Martin couldn't deliver the goods on time, the showrunners found themselves in a bit of a pickle. They signed up to adapt a series of books, not to write their own ending from scratch. And yet, that's exactly what they were forced to do when Martin hit a creative roadblock. They had to navigate uncharted waters, charting a course through unexplored territory with nothing but their wits and a vague idea of where they were headed. It was a risky move, one that left fans divided and the show's legacy hanging in the balance. And what about us? The loyal fans who've stuck by Martin through thick and thin. We're the ones who've poured our hearts and souls into a story, who've invested countless hours dissecting every twist and turn, every hidden clue and foreshadowed event. But now, with Martin's indecision casting a shadow over the future of the series, we find ourselves adrift, lost at sea without a compass to guide us. We're like ships tossed on the waves, waiting for a sign, any sign, that Martin hasn't abandoned us entirely. But with each passing year, hope grows dimmer, until we're left wondering if we'll ever see the shores of resolution. And so, we come to the crux of the matter, the cold, hard truth that we've been dancing around all along. It's a truth that's as bitter as the winter winds that howl beyond the wall, as stark as the snow-covered plains of the north. Some of us have come to terms with the fact that maybe, just maybe, George R.R. Martin won't finish what he started. It's a bitter pill to swallow, sure, but denying it won't make it go down any easier. We've got to face the truth head on, no matter how painful it may be. The end might never come, and we'll have to make our peace with that fact. It's a sobering thought, to be sure, but it's one that we can't afford to ignore. For better or for worse, the fate of Westeros hangs in the balance, and only time will tell how it all plays out. So, where does that leave us? Still clinging to the hope of a resolution, or resigned to the fate of an unfinished saga? Only time will tell, but one thing's for certain. Whether Martin pens the final chapter or not, the legacy of Game of Thrones will endure. For better or for worse, it's etched into the annals of fantasy lore, a testament to the power of imagination and the unpredictability of fate. We hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel.